That was probably why she didn't get much attention. Her compelling personality and great sense of humor weren't exactly apparent right off, except maybe to Jared. She was probably a little weird, too. At least she wasn't alone in that. Jared got pretty far out there sometimes. Not tall, but not short. Not thin, but not overweight either. She had invested in a treadmill and an elliptical and kept in shape. Last summer she had noticed her shorts weren't quite as flattering anymore, and she panicked. At least she got a good deal on the equipment. When she had first started doing cardio, she wanted to quit the first 5 minutes. Only the image of her lumpy butt in the mirror, which had started to spring up out of nowhere, kept her going. 25 would quickly become 35, and she wanted to take care of herself as best she could. Her secret fear was dying of cancer like her mother. So she exercised. Now she was kind of addicted to the feeling she got after a good session. Plus she could read or watch TV while doing it, and that made the time fly. It was neat to think that she could run several miles without even really getting winded. She flipped her hair back over her shoulder again, wishing she had worn it up today instead of down. She eyed the rubber bands in their little plastic holder, but decided against it. The last time she had used a rubber band in her hair, it had been a disaster of epic proportions, and she had to get a bowl cut. Okay, she had been 5 at the time, and her slightly drunken father was the cutter, but still. The image of that goofy-ass haircut haunted her, especially since her mother had taken pictures of it. She couldn't bring herself to give the rubber bands another shot. She also couldn't bring herself to get rid of the embarrassing pictures from the photo album, because her mother had put them there. She tapped her fingers on the desk as she waited for Mr. Hubbard's outburst. She jumped as the branch manager shouted over the music to the full office. "All right, everyone, we're going in for the weekly sales meeting now. Anna, I want you and Jared to continue with those sales reports. Anna, when you're finished, I want you to type up tomorrow's agenda and get a memo sent out to the right people, okay?" It wasn't a question. "Yes, Mr. Hubbard." "And someone turn that blasted music off." Well, that was surprisingly succinct. He must be running behind schedule today. Anna looked around at the rapidly clearing office. The sales and customer service reps were following Mr. Hubbard into the back conference room. She heard the squeaking of Jared's desk chair and looked over at the end of their partition. His right arm came into view first. His muscular forearm rested on the armrest, and his hand gripped the end. The right side of his body and face came next. His eyes were serious in the large, newly vacated office. His look promised excitement. He didn't move a muscle aside from the rapid pushing of his feet against the mat, which propelled him at a steady rate out of his cubicle. She bit her lips to keep from laughing out loud and potentially disrupting the start of the meeting. As he continued to scoot his chair out from behind the wall, she caught a glimpse of the key ring in his left hand. "Yes." "It begins," he said as he jingled the keys. He jumped up with a sudden burst of energy and looked around the office over the top of the cubicles. He motioned for her to wait. Jared had filched the keys from the office manager's desk one day and made copies of them on his lunch break. Anna knew when the keys came out that something spectacular was about to happen. Jared took his eyes from hers, and she clamped her lips together to stop herself from grinning. He was about to retaliate for Darla's olfactory popcorn assault. She just knew it. He glanced around once more, making sure that everyone was settled in for the hour-long sales meeting. Sometimes there were stragglers taking bathroom breaks or fetching coffee. For now, they were alone. Jared bent down to get something out of his desk and then stood up, using his 6'2" height to see over the tops of the cubicles that littered the center of the large room. The secretary, Jill, was watching YouTube with her earbuds in. It was her custom during the meetings and lunch and any time she wasn't specifically given a task. She heard the rattle of Jared's cinnamon-flavored Altoids. He ate them obsessively, and she would always associate that smell with them. She forced down the attraction she felt for him. She didn't want a relationship with him. It would ruin everything. Things would get weird, and he wouldn't be her best friend anymore. Then she would be all alone. When he gave the all-clear, Anna followed Jared to Darla's workspace. She wondered what his plan was as he squatted down and unlocked the bottom drawer of her desk. Anna snorted and held back laughter as he bypassed Darla's purse and grabbed her secret stash of